Hello, hello. Who's up there with me? Oh, okay. This is Shante.
Courage, strength, leadership, bravery. Sheep follow the leader. They follow the herd. They don't know where they are going. Many times they are led to the slaughterhouse, but they keep following. They don't lead. They don't use their mind. A lion leads. It's about having the courage to stand and fight for your life, having the strength to go bravely in your own direction, even if others walk away. You tread your own path. Only you know what's best for you. Only you know what path to take. Only you know your courage, your strength, your heart. Everyone has the heart of the lion inside of them. Let it out. Let it scream out of you. Like the lion, unleash the beast in you. Attitude is what you think, what you do, and what you feel about yourself. Attitude is everything in life. Guess what? Whether you rise or fall, everything is based upon the attitude that you showed up at that moment. Your attitude determines your altitude. Listen carefully. I've been through tough times. I've experienced it, and I want you to know that it wasn't my money that brought me this far. It was my attitude towards life. It was my attitude to keep going when the going gets tough. That is the lion attitude I'm talking about. The question is, what is your attitude towards life? What do you think of yourself as I'm talking to you now? Do you think of yourself as how God thinks of you? Or you think of yourself as how friends and family members think of you? You need the lion attitude. The attitude to take charge of your destiny. You need the lion attitude that says, I can. You need the lion attitude. The attitude that says, I will, because I'm bold enough to fight. You need the lion attitude if you are standing in for greatness. Real lions, they are hungry when the time comes for their mission. Lions are not followers. They are leaders who lead the rest of the animals. Become a lion. Be fearless. Don't talk. Walk the talk. Real lions, they demonstrate who they are. A lion does not seek respect. They command respect and authority because they know they should be respected. Be a lion. A sheep follows a leader. A lion leads. It's about having the courage to stand and fight for your life. Having the strength to go your own direction, even if no one believes in you. Follow your heart. Only you know what is best for you. Only you know the path to take. You have the heart of a lion inside you. Let it out. Don't fit in. Stand up and use your gift. The lion is certain. There are no maybes with the lion. This is my decision, and I will attack until the outcome is mine. No one will push me around. No one will tell me where to go or what to do. If I want something, I will go after it with everything I have inside me. The sheep is not certain. That is not carried, just drifting through life, being pulled and prodded, being sheared from head to toe until there is nothing left to give. And that is what I see in many of you. Life, the world, and society is trading you of your very self. Head to toe, you lose your own unique footprint. You become what others want you to see, not what you want to be. Don't let anyone push you around. Be like a lion. Roar so loud with your own spirit that no one will doubt you ever again. No one will question your goals. No one will dare challenge you again because you certainly will shine through like the lion. You have that heart, the heart of the lion. Most of you won't be successful because when you're studying and you get tired, you quit. And I'm here to tell you today, if you got somebody came to my office the other day crying, I said, look, don't cry to give up, cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain, you already hurt. Get a reward from it. Don't go to sleep until you succeed. Listen to me. I'm here to tell you today that you can come here, you can jump up, you can do flips, you can be excited when we give away money. But listen to me, you'll never be successful until I don't have to give you a dime to do what you do. You won't be successful until you say, I don't need that money, because I got it in here. So if you want to make six figures, you can't just be talking about you want to make six figures. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Some of you love sleep more than you love success. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, you got to be willing to give up sleep. You got to be willing to work out for 3 hours of sleep, 2 hours. If you really want to be successful, some days you will have to stay up 3 days in a row. Because if you go to sleep, you might miss the opportunity to be successful. That's how bad you got to want it. You got to go days without, listen to me, you got to want to be successful so bad that you forget to eat. So listen to me. Emmett Smith said this at the end of the commercial. Emmett Smith said, all men are created equal. Some work harder in preseason. I'm going to say it again because you might have missed it. All men are created equal. Some work harder in preseason. So that means that there are some people who are going to see the professor, going to see the TA. And even when the professor says, I don't meet with you, my TA meet with you, you say, I don't want to talk to your TA. I don't pay the TA. I pay you to teach me. So you're going to have to find some time to meet me. If I got to meet you at the mall, if I got to meet you at your house, you are going to see me. Listen to me. All men are created equal. Some work hard in preseason. When I went to college, guys were way smarter than me. 4.0s, 3.0. They went to the Ivy League high schools, came to Oakwood from these great high schools. Most of them are not doing what I'm doing. Why? Because it's not about where you come from. It's about heart. You come to a place where, being smart ain't enough. You got to have heart. That's number one. Watch number two. Test number two. I wrote it down. I want to make sure you got it. It says, watch this. We're talking about sacrifice now. The important thing is this. You're right when I'm saying it, because I only have about 3 more minutes. Listen to me. The most important thing is this, to be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. That's the number 2 thing. You got to catch that one. To be able to, listen to me, at any moment. Some of you can make sacrifices when Monday Night Football is not on. You can make a sacrifice. But when the game come on, for some reason, you just attach to it. For some of you, when your favorite show come on, you can make sacrifices on Sunday when ain't nothing going on. But when your favorite show comes on Monday, bam, some of you focus until the phone ring, and then you like, I gotta answer. If I don't answer the phone, I'm gonna die. I'm saying to you today that there are some of you, if you give up your cell phone, you would be successful. But your cell phone is more important to you than your success. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna hurt somebody. I'm gonna hurt somebody. Some of you need to give up your cell phone because the time you spend on your cell phone could be used for your success. The time you could be using to be successful, you're using it on the cell. And the cell phone is not bringing you nothing but a bill. And somebody has told you you couldn't live without it. I'm talking about going deep now, giving up stuff. Watch what it says. To be able at any moment to sacrifice what we are for what we can be. I don't do well in math. You're right. You ain't never studied. I'm not good in writing because you have never written before. But I dare you to fail in writing for a whole year to see if you can get to the end. I dare you to fail. I dare you to take that same class over and over again. I dare you to stop dropping classes like you saw. I always want to give up. I'm dropping. Why are you dropping? I'm so grateful that the slaves didn't drop and quit. Say, I'm just going to stop. I'm a slave. I'm just going to be a slave. I'm going to quit. Listen to me. The slaves said, we will live because one day we will become.
All right, all right, all right, all right. What's going on, everybody? If you can hear me, drop some ones in the chat. Drop some ones in the chat. We're about to get started. If you can hear me, drop some ones in the chat. All right, I got some ones there, so I take it you guys can hear me. All right, cool, 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 cool. That's enough. That's enough. All right, I got you here. All right, cool, great. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Find my mouse here. Lost my mouse on my computer. There we go. All right, I'm so excited, guys, to go ahead and start this training with you guys. Look, this is, okay, I got some more ones coming up here. Appreciate that, appreciate that. All right, Taylor, what's going on? So I'm excited again to be giving this training to you guys tonight. This is Tuesday night. Tonight, we will be going over this agenda right here. We're going to have some fun. We're going to learn, and we're going to have some more fun. And this is Welcome to Elevating Your Mind and Your Money with Gertrude, the GER training. This is an overview of how to trade GER30 or Gertrude, and we're about to get into it, and here we go. Oh, feel free too, before I really get into this thing, that if you have any questions, go ahead and drop your questions in the chat, and I will get to them as I can, when I can. But tonight, I just want to go ahead and get through this training because I'm really excited to get you this information. And also, too, I have an update to some of the training from my previous trainings I've been given before, something that I wanted to give you guys tonight on this call. So, yeah, again, like I said, if you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to drop your questions or so, and I'll get to them as they come. All right, so anybody who have never traded GER30 or always had a question about GER30 and you wanted to know a little bit more about it, tonight is the night for you to get that information. So definitely get your pen and pad and open your mind and your brain and let's just go ahead and jump right into this thing. So again, what is GER30? Well, it's also known as DAX. It's all you can pronounce it if you can, Derster, whatever that is. Basically, it's a German stock index, and you can read the rest of that. So basically, it's the 30 most popular companies that's traded in Europe, in Germany. And some of those companies you already know, you're familiar with. Some of you all may even wear the brands such as Adidas, or you may have flown on some of those flights such as Lufthansa and some other major companies that you all probably heard of already, and some of the products that you use over here in the US. So it's a conglomerate of those 30 companies. So whenever their stocks move, GER30 as a whole moves as well. So that, which is the reason why it's so volatile and it's so finicky in the markets. And maybe that's one reason why a lot of people are afraid to trade it. But hopefully tonight, after tonight, you'll have a little bit more confidence. That is my goal, to give you a little more confidence in trading this wonderful indice pair that I so happen to fall in love with. So again, so other names that we refer to GER30 as is DE30. You may see it in some of your brokers. I'm not sure which ones. I believe actually CoinEx calls it DE30, I believe. I'm not quite sure, but different brokers have different names for GER30. DAX 30 is the same thing. DE30 EUR is the same thing as well. And I call her Gertrude. And the reason why I call it Gertrude is because for me, it was just easy to attach a name to a trade or actually to this indice, because to me, it just reminded me of a person. You know, sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's in between, and sometimes she just act drunk. You know, you don't know really what's going on with this indice pair, and which is the reason why it's all over the place sometimes. And you know, sometimes people are too afraid to trade it because of that fact. You know, I know a few people that, a lot of people are afraid to go around them because they act just like Gertrude. They're all over the place sometimes. So, that's the reason why I named it Gertrude. So, a lot of people like to compare Gertrude to Ursula. And Ursula, I call Ursula US 30. To me, it's just easy to remember those names. And and I like to say that they're both are similar, but they're not identical. If you notice, if you look in the charts right now, you would see probably US 30 is moving right now, and potentially if GER30 was moving at the same time right now, it'd probably be moving roughly around the same type of pattern or type of style, but not quite identical. So some people try to trade both. I highly recommend that you don't, especially if you are brand new to trading indice pairs, because trading one alone can definitely give a person heartburn or a little bit worse if you don't know what you're doing. So jumping in the market and trying to trade both of them, could definitely be devastating to, your emotions, as well as devastating to your bank account. And with that said, and now here's the thing: I like participation. I like, I don't like to just be talking the whole time. I like people to talk back to me. So I'm gonna ask some questions throughout this conversation that we're gonna have, such as this: how many people have traded GER30 in your real account? Give me a two. All right, Cordelia. All right, Taylor. All right, Erica. All right, Norbert. Okay. So five people out of the 43 people have traded GER30. Okay. All right, great. One with educators help. Okay, that's fine. That's cool too. You still traded. That's all good. Now, I'm just taking a pulse right quick before I go on. So how many people have not ever traded GER30? Drop of 4. One person. All right, 2 people. Okay, so 5 or maybe 6 people traded GER30 and 2 people never traded GER30. So the other remaining folk either just not participating or don't really know if you traded that or not. Okay, cool. Let's keep it moving. All right, no problem, no problem. So like I said, a lot of people like to get these two pairs mixed up, and sometimes they think you can trade, if you trade one, you can trade the other, and a lot of times you can, but don't get so caught up on it. And as you see on the slide, it says, their behavior is similar, but not always identical, and that's key. So who is Gertrude? I see the forwards keep coming. Okay, I see him. I see him. All right, Joe, I got you. Hands wet, cooking and listening. All right, Jessica, no problem. And look, I'm sure it's gonna be some good food over there cooking. All right, so who is Gertrude? Like I said before, Gertrude is a personality. I believe. I believe if you don't put a personality to the pairs that you trade in, then it's hard for you to grasp really how it moves. It's really hard for you to really try to master, the actual trade. So, and that's what I'm doing. So this is what I believe Gertrude is. Gertrude is at times a lady who is just chilling, and she's giving you what you want. And other times she's just right here, somebody who's all over the place and just back and forth, and you don't know. And next, you got in a buy, and next, she turned around to a sell because she's back and forth, and it's just ugly. It's just real crazy. And because it's an indice pair, I think things move quite fast and quite rapidly. I think somebody just tried to say something. So before you start trading Gertrude, before you start trading GER30, what's some of the things you should ask yourself? Well, here's the thing. Do I have a positive attitude? I believe that this is one of the foundations to trading anything. I look at trading like riding a motorcycle. I took a motorcycle course actually a few years back. And one of the things they said, before you get on a motorcycle, make sure that you have positive energy. It said, make sure that you have a clear mind, because you have a lot going on. You got a lot of moving parts, and you got a lot of responsibility when you're on a motorcycle and you're moving at a rapid speed, rapid pace. I look at trading, period, the same way. You're going to make sure that you have a positive energy. Make sure that you have a clear mind, and especially when you're trading indice pairs, because they don't move like Forex pairs. We don't know Forex pairs. Sometimes you can set it and forget it, unless it's like GBP when it moves pretty quickly. But for the most part, yeah, you can set it and forget it, and it's going to take its time sometime. But indice pairs, Gertrude doesn't. When she moves, she really moves. She can go back and forth or up and down. And what happens to a lot of people is that their emotions get attached to the movement of the pair. And therefore, if you're in a buy and it drops down real quick to a sell, you would start screaming and hollering and like, look, I'm negative like by I don't know how much. And you wanted to jump out the trade prematurely. Before you know it, you jump out, and then the trade goes in your way, and it would have hit your take profit. And I'm pretty sure, I don't even have to ask that question, but I'm pretty sure that has happened to a lot of people here on this call. So what must you have? Positive energy. What must you have? A clear mind. I need to add patience to this chart as well. The next thing too, did you get enough sleep? I know plenty of times that I got in a trade trying to go for a buy, and I hit the sell button because I'm sleepy. I didn't hit the wrong button, and next I had to hop out real quick. But before I hopped out, I was like way down, and then I realized, wait a minute, I hit the wrong button. So I'm pretty sure that's happened to a few people on this call. So the other thing too is, am I confident in the decision that I'm making? And so anything that you're doing with trading, you got to make sure that you're confident in it. Because if not, somebody, Taylor said guilty lack of sleep. I know. You just heard Eric Thomas in the video, or in the YouTube video, talking about, sometimes you got to get no sleep. That's not always a good thing, especially in the trading work. You want to make sure that you're making the right decision when you hit that button, and when you're hitting it with confidence. Because earlier on, when I first started trading, I was just hitting buttons, just like whatever, hit a buy, hit a sell, and I wasn't doing it with confidence. And it showed not only with how I comprehended the market, it also showed in my bank account as well, because I kept blowing accounts. And as a matter of fact, drop a 2 in the chat if you have a blown an account. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight. Come on, guys. Am I the only one who blew in an account? There we go. I know I'm not the only one. Lord, I'm guilty of it. I know. I know. Yeah, still recovering. Trust me. I know the feeling. I know the feeling, Norbert. All right, cool. I got it, guys. So yes, so as you can see, we all have been in the same boat. We all have blown an account for one reason or another, and a lot of times it's because of what I got on the screen. Because we operated in the opposite way of what I have on the screen. Positive energy, clear mind. Did you get enough sleep? Are you confident? No, you scared. You scared to get in the market or whatever, and you may have hit the button prematurely or whatever the case is. And bottom line, you're not really having fun. You know, it's kind of hard to trade and not have and not have fun with it. Boom. That's why I said most importantly, we got to have fun. Because if you're not having fun, and I noticed this with myself, a lot of what I'm telling you is based on what I've heard from other people, but a lot of it is from my own personal experience. Is that when I'm emotionally attached to a trade, or I'm having I got bad feelings or bad energy around me or whatever, and I'm not having fun, then I notice that my trades are the same way because my mind isn't clear. And so whenever you trade in indices, see, a lot of times, and I tell people all the time that trading is easy. But the thing about what makes people lose trades or whether they're highly successful or maybe get a little bit of success or no success has a lot to do with how you think. It has a lot to do with what you're thinking in the moment of that you have the trade going. So a lot of times people get out prematurely because you may have overthought something, or they get in prematurely because you may have seen something that really wasn't there. Who was that? Taylor said, never again, though. Learn from my mistakes. That's what I'm talking about. You got to learn from your mistakes. And if not, then you're just wasting time. And guess what? That same lesson will keep coming back to you over and over again. And especially when it comes to indices. Why? Because indice pairs to me are so sexy because the potential of them, of getting success in them are so great. But at the same time, if you don't take your time, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not really paying attention to what's going on, that same high that you're feeling for every winning trade, you're going to actually experience the opposite effect of it. You're going to get depressed and be like, look, I quit trading. But really, is that you didn't apply certain principles to your trading plan. Let's move on. So how much do I need to trade Gertrude? Boom, $500 to $1,000 to trade. $500 to $1,000 to trade. Now, this is I train people and I tell people this is the safety way of trading Gertrude, and pretty much any indice pair for that matter. Because what happens is a lot of people over leverage. A lot of people get in and want to trade indices like they trade Forex pairs, and it's not the same. And it's not the same. So to have that extra cushion, you need an extra security to withstand those pullbacks. You need to have at least $500 to $1,000 to trade. Now, if for those of you who are ambitious, and for those of you who want to say, look, I'm gonna go and see, do I really need $500 or whatever? No, you don't really need it in order for the trade to go through. However, or in order for the order to go through for a buy or sell with Gertrude. However, once it pulls back, you're jeopardizing your whole account. And to me, it's not worth to jeopardize your whole account, because trust me, take it from me, if you're not operating or trying to trade these indices with enough money in your account, then depending on your leverage size, the broker would definitely take your money. And I had plenty of accounts that went from, whatever I had in my account down to $44. And you can't trade any indice with $44. And that's because I got in over anxious, overzealous, and I call that blowing an account, because I can't trade my indices no more. I can't trade Gertrude no more. Now she's lonely. She want me to come and trade her, but I can't. I gotta do some Forex. No shade of Forex. I love Forex, but I really love indice pairs. But because if you don't have the cushion that you need in your account to withstand those pullbacks, you are actually jeopardizing your account to fall back to a lower amount in your bank account than you really want. Now, is any of this making any sense to you guys? Give me a 1 in the chat if you guys are getting this. Gotcha. Okay, cool. I'm glad you guys are getting it. Cool. All right. Somebody said, how much do I need to even trade? Now, are you talking about trading in general or just trading Gertrude? Now, for tonight's call, I'll say between $500 and $1,000. And that's because, well, actually, let me ask you this, Carrie. Have you ever traded any industry pairs, period? Yeah, US 30. Awesome. Okay. Uh, all right, cool. So you have traded some industry pairs. Great. So with that said, were you successful with trading those industry pairs? I take your silence as a yes, maybe. Okay. All right. So the bare minimum that you need to trade Gertrude is $80. That's the bare minimum. But I do not at all, and I'm going on record, I do not at all recommend that for anybody, especially if you don't know what you're doing or if you never traded indices before, or even if you have and you're brand new at trading indice pairs, because there's an art to it as well as a science to trading indices. And if you're not on top of it, then you would definitely blow that account real fast. And I'm speaking from nothing but experience. So again, I used to tell people that Gertrude was pretty much the poor man's indice because you didn't need so much money in your account to activate the trade. See, with US 30, I think the bare minimum was like 180 or something like that. But again, we never ever would encourage people to wait to get your account that low or so, or to trade with money that low in your account, because there will be pullbacks. And the moment that there's a pullback, sometimes those pullbacks are so um, are so much to where it'll pull you all the way out that trade, and sometimes you won't be able to recover and jump back in that trade. So that's the bare minimum. In all honesty, I did it with $80 before, but I was in a demo account, and I was like, man, I think I even traded with my real account one time, just to see if how I did with it, and I didn't do so well. And that was a long time ago when I was just getting used to trading indices. So again, I don't recommend it, but to each his own. Did that answer your question, Carrie? All right, cool. So a lot of people have question before, like, how do I calculate the pips with Gertrude? And let's see. And so the pips are pretty much straightforward. And so therefore, if you see the example here, you got the entry price of 12,534, and then you have, say, your buy take profit 12,594. That's basically 60 pips. That's 60 pips. But here's the thing, and here's why I love indice pairs, is that 60 pips for an indice is completely different than 60 pips for Forex. 60 pips for an indice is completely different from 60 pips from Forex. I wish I can give you, I got 80 pips the other day. I wish I could give you the amount that I made off of it. And I traded, I think it was a 0.02 with that account, and it was pretty good. It was definitely far more than I would have gotten from a regular Forex pair. Now you can see the sell take profit pretty much is the same thing. So your pip count starts from the decimal, from the left side of the decimal. So just like you count just regular numbers, and so therefore for that sell take profit, that's a 30 pip gain or sell. It's a 30 pip sell. So and also too, here's the thing. Now this is based on, I call my broker. One of my brokers is Hugo's Way. I have other brokers as well. So one of my brokers is Hugo's Way. And I wanted them to break it down for me so I can actually explain it to you all. Because I have they have different types of indicators and so, and I have an indicator that would have calculated that that buy take profit, that 60 pip move for like 6,000. And so therefore it'll say like 6,000 pips. And I'm getting excited off of that, thinking it's 6,000 pips, when in actuality, you have to move the decimal over 2 places. Now, that is with, here's a disclaimer, that is with Hugo's Way. Now you have to check with your brokers, because not all brokers are the same. Some brokers are calculate pips a little slightly different or so, but that's the one I made sure to double check and have them to break it down for me with my broker. So I definitely recommend that you get with your broker and have them to break it down for you as well. It could possibly be the same. I know for a fact that another tidbit was, if anybody has CoinEx on here, CoinEx would, I think their bare minimum to allow anyone to trade indices is the bare minimum lot size is 1, a standard lot. And so I guess that's a trade-off, because their spreads are a whole lot lower than any other brokers that are out there. But I do know that I guess the trade-off is the fact that, they're going to make you, spend a lot, or pretty much a standard lot, on the trade before you can actually take it. That's one of the drawbacks. And actually somebody just said that too. Some brokers have a minimum amount you need to trade indices. Exactly. So the time, I don't have a slide on this, but the times that Gertrude opened up is actually at 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you guys are taking notes. 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the time that it opens up. The market opens up at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it closes at 4 p.m. or 1600 Eastern Standard Time. And I noticed that unless my watch is off, or my phone, or my clock on my phone is off or so by a few minutes, I noticed that I'll set my alarm for 2 a.m. and I'll be waiting for the market to open up, thinking it's opening up at 2 a.m. But on my alarm, on my phone, it's actually, it'll go to like 2:05, and then I start seeing the market move. So I think that, this is me personally, I'm very biased because I love my Android phone. I believe that my Android phone's time is always right, is correct, and that the broker's time they're slow. So that's just my bias. Don't judge me. But anyway, so I noticed that when my phone hits 2:05, between 2:03 and 2:05, that the market actually starts moving. But on record, Team Andrew, that's what I'm talking about. On record, on paper, 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when GER30, Gertrude, my boo, my baby, opens up, and 4 p.m. or 1600 is when it closes. I say that for a reason. People ask that question a lot. Now, people want to know, when is the best time that Gertrude moves? Because she don't always move, but when she moves, she really moves. And as you see here, look, she's moving real good. Look, just like Big Mama, she's moving. Now, look, as I got right here, 3 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when she moves really, really good. 3 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. is when she moves really, really good. Also, too, I noticed that like during lunchtime, and all my times are in Eastern Standard Time, I'm on the East Coast. So, but during lunchtime, starting maybe between like 11 o'clock or 11:30 a.m. to maybe up to 1 p.m., it's kind of slow. You may see some dragging, or you may see some lagging in the market, or a lot of consolidation or so, but then it starts picking up again around the 2:45 to 3:30 p.m. time frame. And after 3:30, it'll spike or it'll go down. It's hit or miss during that time. But I noticed that between 2:45 and 3:30, is when it starts to move again. And I know that because I take a late lunch on my job, and I go out to my car and I trade. Don't judge me, but hey, we all got goals. So, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, so with that said, I'm gonna pause this right here. I'm gonna show you on my chart what I was talking about, or how it moves. And this is what it did today. 1 second, bear with me here. And while I'm bringing up this other chart, if you guys are getting some value out of this, give me a 5. Give me a 5 in the chat if you guys getting some value out of this. Sometimes I got 5 on it. Listen with those indices. Okay, that's corny.
I'm driving, but 5.
Oh, somebody said what now?
I'm driving, but you got a 5.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Verbal 5. Yes, ma'am. All right, I'm bringing up my chart right now because I want to show you all. All right, let me go back to share. I got your 5s. I got your 5s. That's what I'm talking about. All right. All right, can you guys see my chart? What about now?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So here's what I did. I went through and I counted. Get this out of the way. And so if you can see here, basically this is a 2 a.m. time frame. This is when it opened up. You know, it opened up in the gap, and sometimes it does that. Well, actually, quite often it does that. There's a gap here, gap here. It opened up in the gap, and just like any other pair, and Dr. Kathy says it all the time, is that, you know, if for anything that opens up in the gap, it always has to fill that gap. You never know when. It's hard to tell when, but it always has to fill the gap though. And so right here, you definitely tell right here that it started filling that gap. Now, and here's what I was telling you back to my chart where I said that between 3 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. it starts moving. Well, they started a little slightly early. And this is where, you know, what they say that the early bird gets the worm or whatever that is. So right here, it started, I got on the 30-minute time frame. This is 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30. You guys see that? And so the major moves are happening early in the morning. There was something with, you know, back in the day, people used to tell me that, you know, the wealthiest people get up early in the morning because money moves when everybody else is asleep. And this is right here proof that it does, you know. And as a matter of fact, where's my little tool at? Right here. Let's do some measurements. As a matter of fact, it does. And look at all these pips. Up, got a spike right here, spike to the low. That spike, and if you look, that's crazy. That's 21,947. Now, we just said that it's not really 21,947 pips, but still 219 pips is still a great day. Would you agree? Yes or yes? I would say that's a great day any day. That's early in the morning. Sometimes actually 219 pips, that's all a person needs in one day. You can roll over, go back to sleep. You go back to sleep at or whatever time this is. If that's 9 o'clock or 9:30, back up. That's probably about 8 o'clock or so, something like that. Yeah, go back to bed. As a matter of fact, 219 pips, you put a nice lot size on it, or even at a 0.01 lot size in it, that's still a decent day for anybody. So this is what I was saying, that money moves or Gertrude moves between 3 a.m. and 9:30. And in this case, you know, she woke up and started moving an hour earlier. You know, so it always behooves everybody, you know, to get up and at least watch it. At least get up and if you're afraid to jump in the market, you know, load your demo account up. You know, build your confidence, you know, through your demo account. That's what I used to do. That's what I did actually, because I lost a lot of confidence when I started out with trying to trade crypto, and boy, that sucked all the confidence out of me. Man, it humbled me real quick, real fast. But then I started trading in demo, and I fell in love with the indices, and I noticed that, you know, during early mornings when she opens up, when Gertrude opens up, that's when all the money's made between this period as well as, you know, during the New York session and throughout the day. See, y'all already see that I'm on a 30-minute time frame. Yeah, she already starting to make her move going back down again. But let's get back to the charts. So are you all seeing exactly what I'm saying about the movement of Gertrude? And here it's like when Dr. Kathy is on IML TV or IM or Go Live or whatever it's called today. Whenever she's online training us or giving us signals and just going to the market, and she called Gertrude or GER30 or so, it's in that sweet spot. It's in that time frame. If you ever notice that, you know, every single day when it's moving, she said, oh, yeah, let's look at it. Or somebody else in the group may say, hey, have you looked at Gertrude? Or have you looked at GER30? You know, and it's always between those time frames, you know, between typically when she gets on, it is 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, my time. So around 3:30 is when I start seeing people in the chat start putting it out there. And so this is something I want you guys to be cognizant of. How many people have on this? Just 50 people on here with me. This is what I want all 50 people on here to be cognizant of. You know, tomorrow when we're online and listening to Dr. Kathy talk or train or so, also be looking at the time frame, because I guarantee you, you know, while she's giving up those signals out, while she's talking to us, that Gertrude is also moving. So be cognizant of the times, you know, the 3 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. time frame, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. She's going to be moving tomorrow. Just be ready for it. Who's that? iPhone said yes, yet I still need some help building my confidence. Well, you know what, Mr. iPhone, I don't know if you know, iPhone. Well, here's the thing. Your demo account is so, okay, oh, Mark, what's going on, Mark? Yeah, your demo account, man, it is so, I'm telling you, it does something to your psyche, you know, by getting in your demo account. Now, the greatest lessons that I've learned, the hardest lessons I learned was with my real account, you know, but I really don't put it on anybody. But yet some of the greatest lessons though that I learned was through my demo account, you know, and actually taking notes and seeing what's going on. And by doing that, you know, to me, it's the equivalent of trying to learn how to swim. You know, you don't never just jump out in 6 feet water, you know, or 20 feet water if you never swim at all in your life. You may jump out in 3 feet water, just test it out just a little bit. That's what your demo is for. And the more you do that, the more your confidence is built. You know, I tell people all the time that, you know, be consistent with trading indices, you know, and be consistent in your demo account, because consistency with anything builds your confidence, and your confidence, you know, will start building your consistency, because you're going to want to do it again and again and again. And then if something goes south, you're going to want to know, why did it go south? So Martin, you're saying you still need some help. Hey man, you know what? This is what the team is for too. You know, if you need any help with anything, have any questions, reach out to me, Shantae, or Dr. Kathy, anybody, man. If you need some help, or, you know, just building your confidence. And a lot of times too, it's all internal too. Somebody said, so I just watch how it moves, and or is there an educator that is on Go Live that trades indices. Yeah, Dr. Kathy. You know, US 30 is an index, GER30, Gertrude is an index, you know, so yeah, and she calls those trades all the time. You know, whenever the web analyzer with the ECC 11 strategy calls for it, then definitely she's telling people to get in. And sometimes she calls it out before it even gives that trigger. So yeah, we have one of the #1 educators, you know, to do it for IML, you know, to trade his indices to show us. So yep, that's right, blue light special. That's what I'm talking about. So we'll move on here. Share. All right, we should be back. There you go. Oh, that's it. She's moving again. She's moving. So now, like I said, 5 a.m. 5 a.m. is normally the pullback, was when the pullbacks happen. And we all heard Dr. Kathy say all the time, you know, 5 a.m. is a time that, you know, the banks are putting, you know, people's monies back in their accounts. So therefore, there's a lot of pullback happening in the market across the board. You know, that's something that we really can't get around, really can't do anything about, because the banks are pretty much moving your money. So here's where using proper risk management, comes in handy, you know. And like I said, use 0.01 lot size for every $1,000 in your account. Now, if you're using CoinEx, unfortunately, they want one standard. So I, you know, personally, this is me, Patrick, you know, I use Hugo's Way. Now you can use, you know, whatever you use, but I use Hugo's Way because it allows me the flexibility to not have to trade a standard lot size. Now, a standard is a lot for an indice pair, trust me, you know, it's a whole lot. But yeah, because the one little movement, you know, with that could, you know, either, you know, take you to heaven if you got the right trade, you know, the right if you hit the right direction, or it can really take your account way down. So I trade with Hugo's Way. Anyway, so 0.01 lot size for every $1,000 in your account. This is a very safe, a safe lot size to have in your account, you know, to make sure that you, like I said before, you have enough room, enough cushion for that pullback. Because during 5 a.m., or it's not necessarily always 5 a.m., but that's a good time frame to keep in mind. But during that time frame or the pullback hour, you know, you never know how far it's going to pull back. So because of that, having the extra cushion in there, that's a lot of cushion, but it's needed and it's good, you know, because a lot of people like to scream red light, you know, even with Forex pairs. And so just imagine a person screaming red light, I'm ready to jump out the car, or starts complaining about, you know, my trade is red or whatever for a Forex pair. What you think that, you know, a person will be doing with an indice? You know, when it's moving so fast to where you don't see the 10 pips, you know, you don't see that. You may see 100 pips, right? So having a $1,000 in your account gives you that extra leverage that you need, you know, when you're trading with a 0.01 lot size. Trust me, take it from me. I've been there. And if not, you will find yourself just like this. See, this is Gertie or Gertrude, and this is you, or this was me. And this is how it looked. She was beating the mess out of me because I was over leveraged, you know, and the market will always win. And if you always, you know, try to go against the market, don't do that. It will always win. So, what can we expect from Gertrude? Well, first of all, before I get to that, any questions so far? I got one question. Mark asked a question. Okay, got that question. Cool. Continue watching, learn. Thank you. Yep. Especially. Yep. Okay. Hey man, thanks for all the advice. What are you learning? What are you learning now? I'm learning a lot now. Frank. I'm learning a lot now. I just got into Fibonacci. Is anybody on here use the fibs at all? Anybody use fibs? No. Yes. Do you trade Gertrude like you trade Forex pairs? I said that earlier. No, I don't. So, well, it depends. It depends what you mean by that. Once I learn to use them, sometimes pull back. Hey, I'll definitely say look up Fibonacci and using that because I just opened it up. Yeah, I was introduced to it. Dr. Kathy mentioned it a long time ago, but I had a lot of indicators and it was just way too much. It's overload for me. And so I just wanted to do step by step and put this whole puzzle piece together little by little. And now I'm to the point to where I was just curious about the Fibonacci and the retracement tool. And so I just used it last night when I was doing some markups. And I said, I wonder how this is going to go. And I said, oh my God. So when I woke up this morning and I saw where it came back and it started, how it was moving on the chart, you know, everything was almost perfect. You know, it was just crazy. I don't want to get too much into the Fibonacci stuff tonight because you know I'm still learning it, and before I show it and introduce it to anybody, I want to make sure that you know I got it down pat because I don't want to tell anybody wrong or steer them in the wrong direction or so. But definitely something that I am looking more into, learning more about, and so far, you know, it's paid out pretty good today. And I was like, man, I was impressed and amazed of a lot of the the similarities that it had with some of my other indicators that I use or so. But anyway, so as I learn it more or so, then I may introduce it in another GR training that I may do in a couple of weeks or so. But anyway, for tonight, boom. Let's what can we expect from Gertrude for the week? So before I get to the charts, has anybody on here been looking at Gertrude at all? Anybody? Yes. Okay. Okay, I have. Carrie. Yes, yes. Okay. Dennis, what's up, Dennis? Okay, cool, great. All right, cool. So before I get to the charts, you know, I want to see just where you guys are. So you guys have been looking at Gertrude. What is the current trend right now? If you were paying attention, I kind of sort of showed you earlier on the chart when I'm showing you times. What is the current trend right now? All right, Joe, down. Cool. All right. Bet. Okay. So let's go on over to the charts and take a look at some of these charts and see what's going on with them. And this is going to wrap it up for tonight. Let's see here. Stop share here. Bearish. Yep. Let's go to share. All right. A couple of things here. Can you guys see my chart? Yes. Okay. Awesome. All right. So this is the old one we just saw. And for anybody who doesn't know, I typically start on the 4 hour, and ultimately, well, it depends. Like on Sundays, excuse me, excuse me. On Sundays, I will start probably like on the daily, and then I go down to the 4 hour. At times when I'm feeling ambitious, I want to know exactly, you know, what the market is doing or where I think it may be going. I may start way out on a monthly, you know, to get a larger view, and then I'll just drill down. But for tonight, we're gonna start with the 4 hour, and so excuse me, the 4 hour time frame shows me that it's in a downward trend or a bearish market. But can you guys see? Well, not the words, but can you guys see the head and shoulders pattern? If you can, type a 8 in the chat. Okay, if you can't see the head and shoulders pattern, type a 7 in the chat. Okay. One brave soul says 7. Okay, got it. I love it. All right, I'm gonna do something else. All right, so when I go here, Can you see this? What's the head and shoulders pattern? Okay. All right, no problem. All right, so teach you guys something right now, right quick. So basically, head and shoulders is we have 3 peaks. You got a peak here, and peak here, right? Typically, the middle peak is a little higher, or so. But based on the patterns, I got my 3 peaks. And so this is what we call the head and shoulders. A shoulder, a head, a shoulder. And so in this case, like, you know, for on a regular person's body, if you look in the mirror, you know, you got your shoulder, you got your head. Typically, your head is much higher than your shoulders. Well, this person right here, you know, they got their shoulders, you know, up and their head slouched down. I don't know, you know, whatever visual you can put in your mind. So that makes sense to you. But anyway, but a head and shoulders is an indication of a reversal. So you have an uptrend, and then you have your one peak down, come down, a retest, back up, then a retest, back up again before it drops. So hope you guys can see that. Because now the market is so amazing because guess what? It repeats itself. Can you guys see the head and shoulders right here? Right here. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Who threw me that 7 earlier though? Okay, there we go. You can see that head and shoulders, right? So same thing. Okay, so you see the head and shoulders here, and a lot of times if you can't sit with the candles, just go to the line chart. The line chart will show you. You know, you got a little shoulder here, big old head. Not gonna really count this, but right here, look, boom, boom, boom. Got your 3 peaks, 3 big peaks. You know, this guy's shoulder right here is kind of lopsided, but anyway, it still serves the purpose and it still throws a pattern. And guess what? I said earlier that a head and shoulders is an indication of a reversal. And so this reversal, it was going up. We'll see uptrend, uptrend, retest, up again, retest, back up. And guess what? Shoulder, head, shoulder. And guess what? It drops all the way down. That's a crazy drop. And again, y'all, I'm on the 4-hour chart time frame, which which means a lot of pips. And I'm just curious like this. I always love doing this. I love measuring things, like when it comes to the candles or so. And look at this. What is that? I can't see that, but that's a lot of pips. I can't see it. It's really small on my screen, but that's a lot of pips. Just take it from me. So it got in inverse head and shoulders too before it went bullish. Right. And so that's a lot of pips going here. But guess what? I get excited when I see this because the market repeats itself. And guess what we are right now? Right back at the same thing. So when it comes to these index pairs, it's so powerful because, again, it's not like your regular Forex. Now, there's nothing against Forex, and people are killing it with Forex. But I just love index pairs because of this. And guess what? We're in another bear market. And so potentially, it could very well go down to, let's just say here, right? Let's just say right here, because we already know it's going down. We know that part already. And see, I like to do, this is how I trade. I like to do this because I like to see, where I could potentially be getting in or how far it may go. And so when I pull out this tool, I start measuring it because the market repeats itself. So I said, oh, okay, that's good. That's, I see 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's at least 467 pips. 467 pips at a 0.01 lot size. I don't know the math, but anyway, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of pips. So my thing is pay attention to basically your bearish your bearish entries. So I look at I start with the 4-hour chart. Then I go down to the 1-hour chart right here. Oh, and actually, let me go back. I forgot to show you something. Now, I'm showing you the stuff about the head and shoulders on this chart here with indice pairs. I'm showing you how powerful it is. Now, but here's the thing. The head and shoulders is an overall pattern that you can look and find on any Forex pair or anything in the market, you know, and it's always the same. It's actually it's a indication for a reversal going bearish. But again, I'm biased. This is the GER30 training, and so therefore, you know, I think this is a powerful bear move right here. And so we're talking about Gertrude, and so, you know, it is what it is. So anyway, there's a lot of money, a lot of pips to be made in this market here. So when you guys are on IML TV or IMTV or Go Live, whatever we call it today, and Dr. Kathy says, hey, there's a sale in for Gertrude or GER30, whatever you want to call it, definitely be taking it if you can. And if you can't take it in your real account, get in your demo account, because I really want you to see how it moves. And for those of you who are building up your confidence, I really want you to really work on building up your confidence, because I believe in all of my heart of hearts that so many people can win and will win by trading indice pairs. But you will never trade indice pairs if you never get in and start trading. Just like you would never be able to swim if you never get in the water. So we can't be afraid to do that. I don't know who I was talking to earlier, but you know, that's for somebody. Because here's the thing, I don't want you guys, you know, too timid to trade indices. Indices are your friend. Gertrude is your friend. Trust me. You know, she doesn't act like that all the time, but she's your friend. She want to give you pips, and so you just have to be willing to receive. So again, we're on a 4-hour time chart, down to the hour. And back to 4. I'm sorry. The thing I want to show you was, this is what they call a neckline. This is what they call a neckline. Basically, it's where you start here, but it's where it comes down at. It came down right here. So you just draw your line. Typically, this would come down too, but this didn't. But you draw your line. This connects, and this connects. And this is important because a lot of times your pullbacks come back to your neckline. A lot of times your pullbacks come back to your neckline. Okay, so this is something very important. So when you see those pullbacks and people, you know, screaming, you know, Dr. Kathy, you send it red, I want to jump out the car or whatever, or so, just know if this is the case, or if this is the setup, you see a head and shoulder and it's pulling back on you, this is what it's doing. So find your neckline, you see how far you're going. And then you see what happened, it dropped back down. So this is on the 4-hour, which means a lot of pips. It may move a little slower, but we're gonna go down to the hour. Guess what? That's that same neckline right here. And look at this drop. Dropped here, and you see that? If there was a spike right here, and then it pulled back. Now, can you play the pullbacks? You sure can. You sure can. But we know that it's risky, but you can. I would never tell you not to, but it's risky. But here's the thing, we know the overall trend is going down. So you can wait on the pullbacks and then wait for that candle to go down and just ride all the way down. Or wait for Dr. Kathy to give you a signal if we're on IML TV. But again, I want you guys confident in trading indice pairs. And now we're gonna go down to the 15-minute. And look at that. So potentially, I showed you my trend line here. So here is where it could possibly go. Not in one day, obviously, but look at that. And that's a lot of pips. That's a lot of pips. So anytime you see it going down, definitely just look at it, jump in, you know, because, and just in your demo account, jump in and just see how it flows, because we know the trend is down. So anytime you got to sell, get in it, and watch it go down, and watch how many pips you get from it. And then also too, another question that people ask is what time frame do you get in on? Well, I get in on the 15, and then sometimes if you really want a sniper move or a sniper entry, you can get it on a 5 minute, because the 5 minute moves faster, but it also gives you a better indication as to when to get in the market. And with that said, does anybody have any questions? Is that 15892 ADR? Yes, that's the average daily range. Exactly. Exactly. Now, did you guys get anything out of this training tonight? Give me a 1 in the chat or some fire in the chat to let me know where your energy is tonight, so I can know if I need to change up something. Let me know where you are, or what's going on with you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Very informative. Awesome. Good, 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 good. Awesome. Okay, cool. Now, also too, a little bit of feedback from you guys. Is this something that you guys want to see more of? All right, and the yeses have it. All right, cool. I love indices too. Indices are my best friend. I'm telling you, you know, Gertrude and Ursa, but I'm so biased. I love Ursa. Gertrude so much. I'm telling you. But anyway, with that said, y'all, I'm wrapping up tonight. And if there are no more questions or so, or if you have any questions or so, feel free to inbox me or run it by Shantae. She can get in contact with me or so if you're not in the team chat or so. And with that said, thank you guys for your time. I'm glad you found some value in it. And I can't wait to do another training with you all in another 2 weeks. Not next week, but in the week after next, I'll be back with you. So with that said, talk to you later. Have a good one. Oh, I ain't finished yet. And look, if y'all found some value in it, show me some love in the group chat too. I do be watching it all the time. So show me some love in there too. I love you guys. All right, now I'm going for real.